Hello and welcome to this tutorial for MotionMaker. You may not see MotionMaker on your home screen. If that's the case, then add it like you would any other app by pressing the plus sign on the right hand side of the screen, then scrolling down or searching for MotionMaker. You can then press the Get option, which will add it to your home screen. Once there, you can reorganize it, add it to folders like you would do with any other app. Let's click into it. MotionMaker is a way for you to take images that you've created using Deal.ai or images that you have from other sources and some text content and add them together to create short animated videos that can be used for various purposes, including social media marketing. When you click into the app, you'll see a list of video templates. We'll be adding to these video templates over time, so you'll see more of them appear. If you mouse over any of these, you'll see them start to animate. And they're animated with sample images and sample text. But you can see the idea here is that this is a sort of rainy scene. And if I let it play to the end, it fades in and fades out at the end. They also come with sample music, which you're able to change. If you want to hear the sample music, you can just unmute the video. Just to show you a couple of others so you can see what they look like. What you'll be able to do once you go into the app is change any of the images, change any of the text blocks, and then add your own music to create your video using the template. This one, for example, has one text item and one image item and has a kind of neon sign effect. This one is more complicated, has logos, it has various images, has various text content that you'll be able to fill in. And some of them have themes. This is more of a kind of wintry theme that you might use later on in the year, or depending when you watch this video, it might be winter now, in which case it's the perfect time to use it. Others tend to be more generic and to be able to be used in more different circumstances. This one, for example, could be used all year round and has a slight smoke effect to it. We will give you some options to help you find templates. Once there's more templates, that will become more of a thing that you might need to use. But to give you an example, you can filter them by aspect ratio, so you can find all of the landscape style ones, all of the square ones, and all of the portrait ones. You can also filter by duration. At the moment, these templates range from 10 to 28 seconds, so you can filter ones that fit within your timescale that you're looking to animate. You can filter by the number of images that are in the templates, the number of texts that's in the template, and obviously you can combine these filters. So for example here, I've said I want 3 images and 1 text, and there aren't any templates that kind of meet that criteria, so it won't show them. You can filter by multiple different ways of doing things, so you can get quite complicated with it. And you can also filter by searching in here for keywords. So for example, smoke. We'll bring up this cinematic smoke template. Let's start with a simple one. So I'm going to click into neon. This is a square template and it has one single item of text. So I'm going to type in example. And you can see that this matches up by default with the color of the text that's in the template. So I can change that using this color selection tool here to whatever suits my branding or whatever needs I've got at the time. And obviously I can kind of manually change this. And also if you know the specific hex code or RGB code, you can type that in to match up with your branding. If you've got a color that you use on a regular basis, you can add it to your favorites by pressing here. It will then appear in this list here for you to be able to access easily. If you change your mind about a favorite and you want to remove it, just click the small X and the favorite will disappear. You can add as many colors to your palette as you think would be useful. So I'm going to pick quite a bright color, maybe go for a yellow. That kind of fits the neon theme. And then I want to add an image. So it says here, for best results, upload images that are 1-to-1 because that will match the template. I'm going to show you what happens if you upload an image that isn't 1-to-1, but for best results, add it in the correct ratio. So I've got some example images. I made these using the hyper-realistic image generation tool, but you can add them from any source. So this one is a square image that matches the template. I'm going to add that here. And the next thing to do is to choose the music. You have two ways of doing this. There's a very, very comprehensive music library. All of these tracks are exclusive to Deal.ai. You won't find them anywhere else. And as such, they're free from copyright. You can use them however you want to use these tracks with no limitations. So you can sort by genre, wide range there. You can sort by the speed, and you can kind of pick by the emotion that they evoke as well. So let's just listen to one of those. So if I want to pick that track, I press choose track, then just give it a moment to load. Once the tracks load, you'll see the waveform of the music. If I hit the play button here, I can drag this to the section of the music that I'm interested in. The width of this box will correspond to the width of the template, so the part of the track that's in this box will be the part that is then played during your video. So say I want this slightly quieter bit in the middle. I can obviously drag this around until I'm happy with the selection that I'm interested in, then go on to the next section. And then here I can confirm all the details, the template that I've chosen, the text that I've put in, the image that I want to put in, and the music, which will start from the place that I chose. Once I'm done, I hit submit. And then once that's done, I'll get a notification that that is now in the queue and ready to be rendered. On the right hand side here, you'll see this box just above the support chat widget. This is your queue. If I press on this, this will show me my template. So right now I've got one job that's processing using the neon template, which is 10 seconds long. Here's the music that I chose, and currently it's in processing, which means that the service is now actually creating that video for me as we speak. It can take some time depending on the length and complexity of the template. It can take, say, 2 minutes to 5 minutes once it begins processing. And you can keep an eye on that status here. You can minimize that or keep it up if you want to see how your job progress is getting on. Once it's done, you'll get this notification, and you'll also be able to see in the queue indicator here that it's done. So I'm going to click through to my vault. I've already created one using the neon template here. So my new one is called Neon 1. Obviously it would then say Neon 2, Neon 3, Neon 4, but the most recent one will by default be on the top. If I double click into that and press play, so there's my video with the template I selected, there's my image, there's my text in the color that I selected with the music at the position that I chose. I can then do whatever I want to do with this. If I press here and press download, that will then download it to my computer that I can then use to upload to social media platforms or whatever else I want to do with that video. Let's go back and close this. And also this will stay in the queue until you're done with it. So if I press on the X, that will remove it from the queue, but it will not delete it from the vault. It will still stay in the vault. So this queue is essentially just for you to be able to keep a track on the jobs that you're currently working with. If you press the X, it will not delete them from the vault, and you can go back to them at any time. Just quickly before I move on to a more complicated template, just want to quickly show you what happens if I upload an image that isn't the specified aspect ratio. So I'm just going to type aspect ratio test in here and use my favorite. So I'm going to pick this image, which is obviously landscape. One thing you can also do with your music is if you've got an existing track in MP3 format, then you can also add that to the video as well. So I press upload here. We do have a checkbox here that asks you to confirm that you have the rights to use the music. If you do have the rights, then tick that, and then that will enable you to upload the track. So here's the piece of music. Once it's loaded in, it will do the same thing where it will display the waveform and allow you to pick the relevant part of the music. Cool, that will do. And I'm going to go through and hit submit. Great, that will then go into the queue. And just to be aware, this is a shared queue. So if you have multiple jobs, or if there are other people who are also using the app, you will see that your job may have a position in the queue. So you may have to wait until it's rendered, but as you see, you can return to this at any time, and then you'll be able to see your queue status. So you can come back the next day, or in a few hours, or in a few minutes, just to check on how it's doing. But you can also continue working while you're doing this. So you can queue up multiple jobs at the same time. This one is the cinematic smoke template. So here we've got 4 pieces of text, and we've got 4 background images. So let me just show you how it looks to fill in a more complicated template like this one. There we go, that's actually done in the meantime, so I'll come back to this. And here is my Neon 2, which is the most recent one I've created. So you can see that it's still accepted the image, it hasn't broken anything, but it's kind of stretched the image to fill the frame, which is why we recommend that you use the aspect ratio associated with the template for best results. But if you don't have images of the exact ratio, you can use others. But the best thing to do is to, when you're using either the hyper-realistic image generator, hero images, scroll-stopping ads, etc., is to use the same aspect ratio, so here 1:1, which matches up to the 1:1 here to generate the images. Alternatively, you can always use the AI image editor to crop the image to the correct aspect ratio. Okay, let's just go back onto this cinematic smoke, the more complicated template. So you can see that I've got 4 texts, so I'm going to be quite boring and just type in first text, second text, third text, fourth text. Well, obviously you can put anything that you like in here, but just bear in mind that while it will try to resize the text to fit, you wouldn't want to put in like the length of a book in here. So if you try and match the sort of text to the size of the text in the template, there is some leniency where you can do some things that are slightly shorter or slightly longer, but anything that's like ridiculously long may not fit within the template and won't look good when it's rendered. But you can experiment and try several times with the rendering tool until you get the result that you want. So the way that this works is that each text is independently coloured. So this one I could pick to be a green. This one I could pick to be a blue. So you can see how this works. I click into the box and I get this little paintbrush. That then sets the text colour for the text that's currently got the paintbrush next to it. So each one of these can be different colours. Alternatively, if you want them all to be the same, to save you having to go through and click each one, once you've set the one that you're interested in, you can say apply colour to all text, and all of the text items will then be the same colour that you've selected. Let's just go back and just set them slightly different, just so that we can check that out. So my favourite, I'm just going to make that a bit brighter. Almost pale white, kind of purple. Let's now add some images in, and I'm going to pick the 4 that I've generated here. Let's pick some music. This one's slightly longer. I'm going to use the custom track again. Maybe this section. Just check that all of the settings are what I wanted them to be. Hit submit. Great, and I'm going to quickly try and speed run another one here just to show you that you can have multiple things in the queue at the same time. Any music is fine. And maybe just do one more. So you can see now I've got 2 jobs in the queue. And now my third one's appeared, so you can see now this is processing, this is in the queue position 2, this is in the queue position 3, and I can actually go on to other apps. I can do some work on marketing hooks, I could go into the academies and do some training or whatever else I want to do on the Deal.ai platform, and then when I'm done I can come back and see that my queue is still here. So you don't have to remain on MotionMaker while you're doing other things. Your videos will continue to render in the background. Just give it a little bit longer just to finish the rendering of the first one. We can check it out. Okay, that's now done. Let's go into the vault. It's a bit loud, just mute that. Okay, and there's the results with my cinematic smoke template. And as before, as I say, you can clear that from the queue. That will keep it in the vault that you can go back to, and it's moved on to doing my next one. So you've got plenty of opportunity to experiment with different text colors, different images, etc., to find the look that most suits your needs. And as I say, we'll be adding more templates to this, so there'll be more variety that you can experiment with. But in the meantime, have fun with MotionMaker, animate your videos, and looking forward to seeing what you create with it. Thanks very much.